Okay, so what we're doing is we're working on Hannah's Rails of Timore, and we're moving from this part to kind of how do you finish a piece out? And we've talked a little bit about some hierarchy. So one of the things I wanted to do is find the train, and I'm going to use a layer style up above it. Oops, that was a mask command Z. Layer style, not a layer style, but an adjustment layer of curves. So I'm going to take the blacks, which this is the blacks and this is the white, and I'm going to actually push it lighter. Okay, so now the blacks of the all of this text is popping out more. Okay, so that's kind of what I've done. Um, and I want it, I don't want this background to shift so much, and we'll take care of that later. Um, so that's kind of cool. So I'm just playing with the tones that we have right now. Um, so the Rails of Timor is popping out more. Do you see kind of the
Hmm.
direction that that's heading? Okay, so now I'm going to pop that away. This curves is something you can turn on and off because it's a curves adjustment layer. The next thing I want to do is go to your text section and find the Timor. If I hit V, I've got auto select on. I am sharing my Photoshop screen, right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
seeing? Okay,
Yeah.
because I don't see the little green spot around it. Okay, so Timor, I'm going to find that. And did you use layer styles to get that text to glow? Where is that? How did you do?
That might be, oh gosh.
Did you paint
Oops.
it? Like, is it?
Um, no, it looks like exactly like I have it. I just can't remember. It's somewhere in the text.
Oh, it's got. You have them arrowed in. I see. You can have these little arrows that arrow them down, and that's where they are. So this, oh, that's where all that cool stuff is. Okay. Um, Sometimes it takes me a while to get used to how your layers are set up, and they're named well, so good job there. Although you might want to, instead of calling that vector smart object, we can, it actually isn't anymore. It's
Right, yeah.
text, so I would just call it Timor. Um, and so I'm going to jump into this effects layer by double clicking it, and sometimes it pops onto my other screen, but it's not. I have multiple screens up, so I'm trying to find where it went. Oh, it's locked. So if I unlock it, then I can double click, and now it's popped up on my other screen. So that's something to watch for if you're working on a project. I'm going to check your stroke, and I think that the stroke should be bigger. Oops, I just duplicated it by hitting the plus. I want to get rid of that one. This one, I want to play with it having a larger size. Looks like you have a stroke that's a dark stroke on this, huh? So I'm going to play
Um,
with this a little
yeah.
bit to get it. I need it to really pop and be lighter because you have text that's dark. So I want to play with that. So now I've already kind of made the silhouette around it. Now you might have had a stroke and an outer glow. It looks like you had multiple things, but
Yeah.
essentially we want more light around the whole thing. Um, and let's you do you have an outer glow? You have that.
Hmm.
That's here. Um, I would maybe up the spread, up the size on that. So did you, whoa, you can see it's delaying. But this is supposed to be like super mysterious. I think having that glow be intense is good and more game-like.
Yeah.
So just don't be so kind of nervous about making these things more intense. Remember that logos, if I hit Z and then uh, option, we need it to be able to pop. See, I'm reading it better now, I think. Um, that color is changing, so I'm just going to hit Command U. Um, oh, you blocked everything. So Command U is a shortcut for HuSat, and I'm going to get it out of that green feeling. Try to,
Yeah, I had it as a blue and I'm not exactly
yeah,
sure why.
there's some
But
layer effects that are
yeah.
shifting. So just needs a little bit more saturation. So you want it blue. See, if it's fully blue, it doesn't pop as much as if it's gray or
Yeah, I think I did that
So
because instead of using like grayscale, I just used blue scale. Like when I started like sketching and like making everything out, and so then that's just like what I stuck with, I guess. But
yeah. Okay, so that's popping out a little bit more. The other thing I would suggest is it's a little hard to read the word rails right now, maybe because my text was so, my glow is so big. Where's the word rails? Is that this one?
it should be it's the one under Timore in the text grouping. It says vector smart object, but that's obviously not what it is.
This is rails.
It should be.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna just try moving it up. So we're gonna unlock it and move it up. See that? I think we need to see it more,
Hmm.
especially this part of that little triangle. Okay, and then probably some glow on that or something too. So you can actually take um, effects and copy them down. So I'm on a Mac right now, so I'm gonna hit Option and then click on the, oh, you have inner glow, interesting. I want outer glow to come over. So see how I just pull that, it pulls the same effect, but I then wanna adjust a little bit, take the spread on that one down, size. It's actually affecting Timor also. I think Rails is somehow connected with that Timor part. Do you see? Like if
Yeah,
I
I
look
see
at
that. I
that,
don't really
yeah.
know
So
how,
you
but
probably each of these font sets needs to be on a separate layer so that they can affect themselves separately. Would be a better approach to it. Um, and then now I know that you're good at doing this, Hannah. Paint this train. Okay, is what I would recommend. Like you've got this this train detail. I think you're getting there. Um, but I'm just going to make a new layer and I'm going to call it train paint, if I can spell correctly. And so then I just start going to town. You might even consider having less of these lines because logos have less to
hmm.
more. So I'm going to pick a color that's going to be kind of a brownish. I'm going to push brown ideas into your head here. Um, Trying to find like a good brown paint B for brush. I've got my HB happy. That will make me happy. Ooh, wow. I've got an effect that's turning that brown into that purple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it maybe up here. Sometimes you have to put paint all the way up on top so that the effects won't do it. So
Hmm.
you can see now I'm there. So Command Z, I'm gonna put 4, I'm hitting 4 on my keyboard. That gives me 40% opacity right there. So that I can just, and now I'm gonna make it bigger. So I'm just gonna paint, trying to give it a sense of this. Um, but like I said, I want there to be less of the, I just picked that color and I'm painting there. I want less of the internal lines. I think,
Okay.
like this. So I'm getting rid of that one part, right? Do you see that?
Hmm.
So I think that that's going to be stronger. Um, and then I would maybe even do like a paste into with some wood grain that's more intense. But I'm going to just paint it a little bit right now too. So you can find lots of wood painting tutorials, but basically kind of finding these little spots. Actually, is this supposed to be wood or not? Wood it is
I
then?
had like a texture on it. I think it's like right now it's like different than what it was like in the slideshow and like what's in my original file, but like it did have a texture on it. It was like more of like I'm thinking metal because it just seems like
Okay, I just made it wood. But so that's how to paint wood. If we need to go with metal, um, then we need to go totally different. It probably needs to feel steel-like, right?
yeah, but I'm thinking kind of like
Maybe
I like
like
the idea of
severe
like
highlights.
rusted.
I'm sorry, two people were talking. What did you say,
Oh,
Hannah?
Like I do think I'm thinking like more along the lines of like a metal train, like a steam engine, but like I like the idea that it's like rusted and like abandoned. Like it looks
Okay, I'm going to Command Z a bunch of times to get rid of my wood points. So Command Z, to get rid of those wood lines I just did. See, I
Look
probably
up a
have
lot of bronze
7100
weapons.
in there. Okay, now we're just going to go for rust. So I'm going to find a rust color and B, and I have in this set, like probably this Pastel Palooza is going to do a really nice rust. You just need more color on this bad boy. Okay, like it just
Hmm.
needs more color. Now you can see
Oh my
I'm
god.
painting outside and I don't really want that, but I want to show you that if you select your train, this is, it looks like your train shape. I'm going to hit Command click, which looks like it's not exactly the train shape. Maybe I do it on this one, Command click. Where's your train shape itself? Command Z,
Um,
Command D to deselect.
good question.
Looking for your flats. Sometimes we try to keep a flat. So I'm going to hit Command click, and then I see it's almost it. So I'm going to go select, modify, expand. I'm going to expand my selection. Just popped up on the other screen from pixels 1, which is not going to be it at all. It's to 50. I'm testing it. That's way too much. Command Z. Um, select, modify, expand. So that was way, way too much. Probably 15 is my next guess. Pretty close. What do you all think? Command Z, select, modify, expand. So 15 was too much. And I kept my 15. So now I just have to expand by like 5. Ah, see, pretty close. So
Hmm.
now I'm going to inverse. So right now I have the train selected. I don't want the train selected. I want everything else but the train selected. Command Shift I is shift inverse, okay? So that's selected everything else. Now I can hit delete. Not on that smart object, but up here. And now I'm not in it.
Could you also just like select the outline of the train and then just draw in that selection from the very
That's
beginning?
right. Yes.
Okay.
So Command Shift I, it's because I made a mistake. Command Shift I, I'm going to inverse it again. Now I have my train paint area. And now I can say mask in this. So I'm only going to paint in it by clicking this button here. So now I've got a flat, I've got
Hmm.
that shape. And if I bring it this icons to be a little bit bigger, so panel options, um, it's on my other screen. For demos, I like to have these like a lot bigger so that everybody can see them. So I'll just see that's inside of it, right?
Right.
So if I paint here, I'm only painting in the inside of it. I can
Mhm.
also alter this later, but now see, I'm only painting inside of it. So E for eraser, grab it, get something that is, sometimes when I push the eraser, it doesn't give you the actual, it doesn't shift to the new erasers in the new Photoshop. I have a fully new Photoshop. Maybe it'll let me do that. See it push to brush.
Yeah, I can't do that either. Like have a
It used to
brush
be, so I'm gonna just make it super soft, hit 3 for 30% and just kind of get rid of that. It was a little bit too much. Anyways, I think that you need to paint more and you're gonna paint inside selections and try to get it to look rusty, especially get the Timore to be like popping a little bit more. It's a little hard to read the word Timor still. And that's, I think, because, and I'm just gonna sketch it on here now because the the layer styling is not doing it so much for me. I'm gonna, I just hit E for brush and I'm hitting my brackets to go smaller, bracket left, left, left in order to go smaller. So I'm in a brush that's this color and just kind of like how I did with my other, we just need to kind of give some separations for these. I think this is how your R goes, is that right?
Yeah, yep.
The
So just kind of like
Pastel
line
Aluza
them.
is really not doing it for me. I need this one, just a roundy, right? So other things like it needs some definition, like it probably Timor needs to have light kind of sometimes in it. Like you've got, this is, there's stuff going on in your story, right?
Oh
Hmm.
my god, yes.
Like this. Did you just say that about what I just painted?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
I
cool.
was I was just like, I think I was like unconsciously thinking about it, but then you just did it and like mind blown. Because
I am.
that is smart.
Special
Because
things, like little dots. Let's have the
Mhm.
story be in here. So I'm just
yeah, especially since
dotting right
like the
now.
light is sort of like the main like light source that you kind of want the other objects in it to also kind of be, reflected against light.
So I don't have the Bonner brush pack because this is a fully new machine on mine. But if I were to go get the Bonner brush pack, there's an effect
Oh
brush
yes.
that's called lighting effects. There is a special effects here, so I'm going to give these a try. Um, I'm looking for a splattery feel of lighting. I'm going to give this one a try. We'll see how I'm not sure if I like it already, but and I'm also going to push it onto color mode. Um, paint paint mode should be on. I thought there was more luminosity. I'll give that a try. See how this is coming. Oh, Command Z because I was, or Command D to deselect. I had the train selected, right? Command D. Nothing's happening. So I'm going to turn luminosity off and just do normal and see what happens with this brush. Nothing. Oh, it's a smudge brush. That's not going to work. I want a brush that is a brush. These are all smudges. That's a brush. Okay, we'll give this a try. Okay. These are splatters, which is not totally what we want, but I think we can get, I'm just dotting it right now. I want a sense of like specialness.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a
Pretty.
start, right? Then we're going to do a layer style over top of it. Layer, layer style, outer glow. Maybe we can even have that be blocked out, but let's just start with outer glow. We needed to do the block out, which is, well, first of all, it's like too big, right?
Mhm.
And like, we're getting there, just something, techniques, yeah, softer, not precise.
So you want kind of particles like going outside of
Particles,
like
yeah,
like
yeah,
boundary
lighting,
box around it too. Okay.
yeah. So something like that. Now this effect is all like the same color, and that doesn't really work. So what I would do is select this. So Command Select. I just selected the particles. Okay. So now Command H to hide the dancing ants because I don't like looking at the wiggling. So Command H. I'm on a new computer, so this is the first time I can show you this. I don't want it to hide Photoshop. I want it to hide extras. Once you do this once, you never have to do this again. On a PC, it doesn't do that. Now I'm going to hit B for brush, and I'm going to grab the general brushes, and I just want this big old softy. I'm going to make it really big, and I'm going to hit X to switch my colors. So I'm on white, and I'm going to like white sometimes, blue other times, X to switch. Just kind of get a couple of different kind of colors, X to switch, right? And then you get a little bit of, it's magical, Hannah. Okay, I think maybe that's my demo for you today. Do you have any questions?
So basically my goal is to just like paint a lot more on the train and then have the letters really like pop, add
Yeah.
more glow, basically. Okay.
Add more glow. We need to be able to read the letters, and I want to be able to clearly see what that object is behind there. Tell me, oh, the train needs to be seen. One thing I didn't do that I did in my other part of my demo is this your, that's that one. That's
Mhm.
popping too much, right?
Okay.
So this
Mhm.
one, if I hit Command M, that is curves. Oh, you have it locked. Command, well, we'll do it with this adjustment here, curves. Um, I'm going to want the white to go back in space. Oh, I have that selection. You see these little starry selections?
Oh, yeah.
Trash it. Command D to deselect. Control D if you're on a PC. Now I've deselected. Now I'm going to do a curve. Now I'm going to tell that curve to tell the white to not be there as intense. Like that was too far. It's a ghost train, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, it should be kind of blue coming out. It should be glowing, not so hard, probably too.
I also think the of needs to match maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
probably
the glowy
We
stuff
definitely
needs
sticks
to
out
have.
like a sore
black
thumb.
or something
But I
like
think it looks really good so far. I think you're
It's
getting
gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
You're scaring me with the logo already in a fun way, and that's all the ideas that you needed to go with. So,
that. Awesome.
okay, thanks, Hannah.